So our battle royale begins and all that, and we get to see some freaking, like, awful things happen to Yuya in this episode. Like, people think, like, oh, main character wins every week and all that, he gets hurt. No, straight up in this episode, Yuya just gets absolutely fucking exposed by, like, two guys. Like, he gets, like, two of those people from the Ropponzaku, whatever, dojo, and they're like, yo, we're gonna battle with you. And these scumbag pieces of shit are like, they're like 2-on-1, even though it's supposed to be a battle royale. It's like, no, we're just gonna team up on you, motherfucker, we don't care. And you just like there after like 2 turns or so, just completely owned by these guys. I mean, one thing I'm a little bit annoyed about in this episode, I will say that it's like, especially with these guys and like all the others, it's like, oh, there's just like, oh, I just use fusion cards, oh, I just use synchro cards, and it's like everyone uses their pendulum cards, and it's like, oh, there you go, his purple sword and like I believe purple shield. It's just like kind of like a cool combo and all that for these cards. I think they like, give you like 200 attack points and all that for warrior type monsters and stuff like that. They're kind of cool little monsters and all that. But one thing I will say that annoyed me in this episode, apart from these two pieces of shit just like absolutely destroying Yuya because they look completely irrelevant and look really stupid and all that. One thing that really annoyed me about this episode is like I kind of know it's like there's no real like kind of actual themed decks anymore. It's just like, oh, I use fusion, oh, I use secret. It's like in this, I know they're like really pushing hard about, you know, they really want to get, you know, more fusion and synchro monsters and XE like monsters out there. But I know I kind of like just people just have normal decks and all that. They don't have to use synchros and fusions. Like whatever happened to like the good old days where you just, I don't know, just use fucking Dark Worlds, Crystal Beast and all that shit, Gladiator Beast, you know, just fucking stuff like that, you know. I would like to see sort of shit like that. Like they don't need to work on like these new, you know, XEs and stuff like that. I don't know, I kind of like to see like a deck like that and all that. It's like it can use pendulum, sure, whatever, but it doesn't need to like keep working on that. I mean, that was kind of like how Yuya's deck was for a while, like until he got, you know, his odd eyes and he got his Dark Rebellion XE Dragon and shit just went down from there. Like, not to mean it was a bad episode and all that, but it's like seeing from this point of perspective, it kind of really took away from like I think a lot of the cards and all that. I know it's like it kind of feels like it's just going to be the same. It's like, oh, I came from a fusion one, so like it's just going to be the same stuff. I'm not going to lie, there was some really cool stuff in this episode, like when we saw Yuzu go against like that person that was super fucking racist. I'm sorry, like I think it like came from like India and wears like the little hat and all that. Like I just remember that from like Apu from like Aladdin and stuff like that. That's every time I see that, and I know it just feels so bad from when that goes down. And then using like Gladian, like Mystical Genie of the Lamp, that was a kind of a cool throwback. I mean, we had Panther Warrior the other week and all that, so that was cool. And he's got a fusion card, he's getting some support. I love that. Some of the old cards are getting like new supports and all that. And Yuzu, when her like this guy was going like totally even and stuff like that. And Gongenzaka was having their duel, and then they kind of like joined up in a tag duel. So now it's Yuzu and Gongenzaka against these two other people, which, you know, honestly, they didn't leave an impact in the episode and all that. They felt like just like, you know, just want to be, they just felt like character. I mean, they pretty much skipped a lot of Gongenzaka's fight. I mean, during like I think the duel and all that, it was like 2400 he had at the end, so they like skipped like pretty much half of the duel and all that while they're going like that. So that was something to take away from the episode as well. But it's like, other than that, yeah, it was a kind of awesome episode. Like, you had Kurosaki go against, like, 3 people at once, like, all those night dudes, so that was pretty badass. And at the end of the episode, like, Yuya was going to lose if it weren't for that one guy that came in at the end, like, saying, like, oh, I'm going to save you and all that. So that was kind of awesome. Some stuff to take away from this episode and all that. Yeah, it did do some things bad, like these guys in the Battle Royale. Honestly, what I would have loved to see and all that, and I know it would have been stupid and quick as fuck, I would have loved if everyone was in the Battle Royale. Like, they all just went down like that. It would have been like, everyone fights in one spot, 16 people. Like, that would have brought back, I mean, even at school back in the day, the closest that we had was 8 to 9 Battle Royale. I want stuff like that. I know it's stupid of me to ask for that, but it's like, yeah, this kind of running around Battle Royale, it's like, it's okay like that. It's like, overall, animation is a bit off this week, and the duelists, honestly, that they went against were not really cool. It was nice to have a few throwbacks, and, you know, also as well as showing Yuya that, you know, he's really conflicted with himself that, you know, fight and duel like that again. So it was a good episode, but honestly, it had some weak parts to it. Honestly, I think this is probably the most episode I've had with Aki. So honestly, I'm going to give this one a 5 this week. I thought it was like nothing too special, but it was like, had its moments, and it had like a little time to shine and all that, and it made me laugh here and there, especially with like, hey, let's fusion summon, like, you know, stupid shit like that. It was like, but overall, let me know in the comments section down below what you thought about this arc of the episode. But that's all from me, so thank you very much for watching as always, and remember, I'll see you guys next time.